Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Anthony Lugg. More reactions this evening to the government's new policies outlined in the Finance Minister's budget presentation Tuesday. Now, as you'll hear in this report, experts have some concerns they want addressed.
Finance Minister Favour Williams' 2-hour budget presentation has elicited a range of responses from financial commentators. In her presentation on Tuesday, the minister addressed the contentious asset tax imposed on the financial sector. She said she's committed to collaboration and is reviewing the issue. But tax specialist Alison Peart is this evening highlighting a few concerns.
The issue is, can Jamaica do without the money that they get from this asset tax? The other issue, when the banks collect the asset tax or levy the asset tax, what do they do with the money? Is it higher fees for you and I when we're banking? Do the banks absorb that asset tax, or is it passed on to us in the difference between the money they borrow and the money they lend to us? So, coming back to the asset tax, should it be taken off? If we can afford it.
Asset tax was instituted on banks in the COVID-19 pandemic as a temporary measure, but is yet to be removed. Industry leaders argue that this tax strains their capital reserves, impacting their efficiency. Meanwhile, economist Keenan Faulkner says while Minister Williams' budget presentation was an expansionary fiscal policy on display, he says as the global trade dynamics evolves in the United States, with Jamaica's high dependency on imports, this makes us susceptible to even the smallest economic shocks.
We're talking about the intermediate goods related to packaging, distribution. If the costs of all of those go up, then the cost of the final product goes up. And when we import the final product, those costs have to be passed on to someone in the form of the consumer, unless the producers decide to absorb. They might do that initially, but that is not something that can happen indefinitely. So we are definitely not insulated at all, given the fact that our imports are 4 times as much as our exports.
Deidre Thomas, TVJ News.
A micro-market will be established on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Finance Minister Favour Williams made the announcement during the budget debate on Tuesday. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, has identified over 250 micro and small businesses that do not meet the $50 million threshold for listing on the junior market.
Meaning the JSE micro-market would be established, Madam Speaker, to meet the needs of MSMEs in the 10 million to less than 50 million in participating equity capital. Madam Speaker, it will be a joy to see the first of these 250 micro and small businesses listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange micro market not too long from now. And Madam Speaker, just in case.
And Ms. Williams says she will announce a technical working committee to guide the process. The committee will be made up of stakeholders from the JSE, the Finance Ministry, the private sector, security dealers, Companies Office of Jamaica, and the legal fraternity.
We fully expect that a fully functioning micro-market will put structure to more businesses in Jamaica for sustainability and growth and access to equity capital. We will begin these meetings of the Technical Working Committee as soon as we start the new fiscal year.
All categories of fuel will decline effective tomorrow. Each litre of 87 gasoline and 90 will be reduced by 79 cents. Automotive diesel will sell for $3.06 less, while ultra-low sulfur diesel will also decline by a similar margin. Kerosene will be declined by $2.73. Propane and butane will both decline by $3.06 per litre. Each gas station will make these adjustments to their prices, which include a markup on the ex-refinery rate offered by Petrojam. Now, foreign exchange trading ended today with banks in Cambia selling the US dollar for an average $157.70. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $109.68. The pound is going for $205.53, while the euro is selling for an average $170.74. The JSE index declined by 1,498 points, while the junior market index declined by 32 points. 37 stocks advanced, including Pulse Investments, General Accident, Caribbean Assurance Brokers, Edufocal, and Kingston Properties. The 50 declining shares included Cygnus Credit Investments 8% preference share, Kintyre Holdings, Epley, Dolphin Cove, and Cygnus Real Estate Financial. 22 shares traded firm. And that's the business day. I'm Anthony Lug. News from overseas after the break.